100% right, every time. The McClaskey Excellence Institute brings you The Operations Experts, a podcast with hosts David McClaskey and Billy Schaefer. Delight your customers, reduce errors, and increase repeat business. Take your operations from ordinary to extraordinary. Welcome to the second episode of Operations Experts, where we get to share the wisdom of people who had some great successes in operations.
So now we are bringing a phenomenal leader today with Jeff Boland. He's the Director of Operations at Max Hospitality. So welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thank you, guys. I'm incredibly grateful to be here, and I'm really excited for this conversation.
I would love to say that this is our first conversation, but Jeff, I feel like I've known you for a long, long time. I mean, it's been 10 plus years. I know you and David met over 10 plus years ago. When we talked about who we want to bring aboard, we want to find those people that we consider are going to be phenomenal leaders and just really exemplify excellence. And I can tell you, and Jeff did not pay me to say this by any means, is that I knew 15 years ago when I met Jeff that he was going to be amazing in what he did. And I can tell you the funny part of this introduction is when I first met Jeff, I know he thought our first interaction didn't go well. I thought it was incredible and loved every second of it. So it's always, it's amazing. So, Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're doing, what about Max Hospitality and what you got going on right now?
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's kind of been a theme throughout my life, is underestimating myself at the wrong times. So I appreciate the vote of confidence. But yeah, like you said, I work with Max Hospitality Group as the director there. Our flagship brand is Max Speed Shop, which is a classic barbecue restaurant. And I love how it was just authentically founded by a group of 5 friends who really love beer, bikes, and barbecue and just wanted to put something together that they could enjoy and bring to the community. And that has naturally grown into what it is today. And we currently have 9 locations serving North and South Carolina. Most of our locations are in North Carolina, and we have one in Greenville, and we're really excited to open number 10 at the end of the year in Fort Mill, South Carolina as well, and continue to focus on growing and really fine-tuning our processes, searching out the best possible locations, or really finding communities that match up with our mission and continue to do this thing. So
looks like you just got a little bit going on then, it sounds like.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, that's awesome. I know Dave and I both enjoyed working with your all's group a few months ago and some great leaders there. One thing I'm always interested on is everything we talk about is strategy. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So strategic planning is such a key thing in what we talk about with McClaskey, and I know you're deeply involved with that. So what's one of your strategic plan goals you've got going on that you're real excited about right now?
Yeah, for sure. I'll give you 2. I'm a big fan and believe that in order to be my best from a team perspective, I also need to be focused on personal goals. So I'll give you one personal and one brand goal. So for Max, I'm really excited about what we've started doing from a culture perspective to really define our culture and make sure that it drives our standards. And you guys had a huge hand in that when we went to Tennessee in February, and we worked through adding in our key guest requirements and really defining and fine-tuning our mission, vision, and our values. So one of the things that I'm really excited about is we finished our culture card. That is something that a lot of us have dealt with in the past. So this is the first one, and we'll have the rest of them for our team here soon. But it includes all of our information. And the first time I ever experienced a culture card was with Billy. And I remember being told that whenever there's a problem, you should be able to look at this and the answer will be in here. And so with the things that we're doing with our processes and standards, I believe you can't really have great processes unless you have a great culture. They go together. And so I believe that enriching our understanding of our cultural expectations with the team are going to drive the rest of what we do. So I'm really excited about that. From a personal perspective, I have had this passion project of working on a leadership culture playbook for a long time and actually writing a book on culture as it relates to leadership. And so this has been a passion project of mine for a long time, and I've just started to really bring it to life. And so I'm still got a long way to go, but I'm very excited about that and getting the opportunity to share the experience that I've had working with great people like yourselves and how that's impacted how I view, the restaurant industry.
Incredible.
Oh, wow. And that's so great. I mean, you're such a great learner, Jeff. And you're an alumni of our Achieving World Class Results class. And I know you use what you learn. So can you tell us how some of the things you learned at the Achieving World-Class Results class has helped you overcome a couple of your operations hurdles at Max Hospitality?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a lot of challenges creating consistent experiences across all of our locations. And you know, coming out of COVID, everyone's kind of experienced the same things. It almost feels weird that we're still talking about coming out of COVID 5 years later, but that's the impact
Wow.
that it had on all of us.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so, we had this problem creating this consistent experience, and through achieving world-class results and working with you guys, we learned where the problem really lies. And by being able to identify the gray area in all of our standards, all of our processes, and working to eliminate that gray, it had an immediate impact on our results. The thing that I love about what you guys do is this isn't necessarily like some kind of groundbreaking, mind altering process, but it's simple stuff. It's creating systems that allow you to achieve excellence.
Mm-hmm.
That requires discipline, consistency, and the biggest thing to me is the honest reflection of how you're currently operating. But the beauty of that is that everyone can achieve that. That's not something that's reserved for certain skill sets or intellect. Anybody can accomplish that. It's just the dedication to do it. So for us, that looked like number one, okay,
Yeah.
we identified that we've got some gray area that we need to eliminate. But two, we can do this. Like, this isn't
Wow. Yeah.
anything that we can't accomplish. And I think that's the biggest thing to learn from it for you guys and what you teach is setting the standard at 100% and knowing that you're going to fail every day. But when you're failing at 98%, like you're crushing it. Like we can live with that. But being able to stay in that mindset and being able to continue to focus on that constant daily reflection and getting better every day is game changing.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Oh, wow.
Too often people look at the word failing as a negative word. Failing is an awesome word because at least you're trying something. If you're not failing, then you're not trying anything.
100%.
So kudos to failing. Great job.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
And I know you all are doing such a phenomenal job. I love working with you all in the process. Is really eliminating gray. But I actually have a self-serving kind of question right now. So, David lives in Johnson City, Tennessee. I live in Charleston. I'm just saying, when are they showing up here in those two cities with Max? Because I want some barbecue. I know David wants some barbecue, and
Yeah,
I want some Max barbecue. So,
there you
any
go.
plans there? Any secret?
I really appreciate that. If we're going to go into Tennessee or into Charleston that have very strong food cultures, and in particular barbecue, we better come correct. So, one of the things that we love about our current footprint are these are all places that we can actively get to. And I think that that's where we need to be right now to be able to continue to really dial in what we're doing and make sure that when we are looking at going further out, that we have all the tools and processes and skills needed to make sure that those restaurants not only operate successfully, but also represent the brand the right way. So, we are actively focused on what we have in our kind of closer market, but I do believe that one day we'll accomplish getting further out into Tennessee and other parts of the country.
Great political answer. And all I heard was barbecue's coming to us soon. David, I don't know if that's
There you go.
I just heard we're just going to have to wait in Tennessee. I heard that. You can't hide that, Billy.
I'll try.
What I heard Jeff say.
So, Jeff, I know you're talking a lot about just getting that same experience to everybody, and all that comes from like eliminating gray. Sounds like that's like the real most important thing to you right now. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah. I think that our ability to create consistency is really important, and really, there's a quote that I have heard in the past that makes me think of McClaskey Excellence and achieving world-class results, and I think it kind of ties in. It's something like we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our habits. And consistency and quality is a habit and a behavior. It's something that you do every day. So, I think that that's an important way to view things. As a matter of fact, I pulled out our our binder from the class that you did with our GMs in February, and I believe it was page 19. I wrote in the margins, your current standard is the result you're currently getting. And that was something that you guys said in that meeting. And I wrote that down and then just put, I can't accept what everyone else accepts. So that sounds very gray to me. Accepting what everyone else accepts is a very gray mindset, which is going to lead to us writing out gray processes. So setting our standards higher and focusing on that consistency is really helping us to eliminate that gray, working through some of those processes. We've seen a direct reflection on how that's impacted the business.
Well, that's fantastic. It's like, you're hitting so many great points and wisdom, and every organization is perfectly designed to do exactly what it's doing. And that's the magic. If we could sell, you can do something, your results would be totally different, but you can just keep doing the same stuff. I mean, Billy and I would be so rich, it'd be unbelievable, but it's impossible. So it's great that you see that, look, if we want to be great, what are we going to do different so our organization can be better?
Yeah, definitely.
So one thing we talked about in the first episode is we truly believe that you need to do one thing at a time. One of the biggest failure points that happens in business is everybody gets really excited and they're going to fix everything all at once. It's a great movie, but it is not how you run a business. Tell me, what's one thing that you all are working on getting to 100%, just that one hyper-focused thing right now?
I really, really love this question because it really shows the full range of outcomes that can be created as you start this process. So we started with one front of house and one back of house system. And in the back of house, we started with something really simple. We wanted to portion out our fries. And in the front of house, we started with something that we thought was very simple, which was our sauce caddy spiel, being able to describe the sauces and pair them for the guest so that they know exactly what they're getting. The results ranged greatly. And we had a real struggle getting to 100% on the caddy spiel because of how it's managed. With the fries, I can see that I've got them all portioned, they're there, and those portions are being used. To be able to say that 100% of our servers and bartenders are producing the caddy spiel 100% of the time was far more challenging. So we had to really adjust the approach, but the outcomes were really what helped us to kind of see how far we had come. So our cost of goods went down, our fries, our waste got much better. The quality of our fries it got better, and even further than that, our other fried sides, because some of the locations really started to notice if we can do this with fries, we can do it with okra, we can do it with sweet potato fries. There's a lot that you can take from this if you have the right mindset. And in the front of house, we started to see that our guests started leaving better reviews, but more specifically, the guests were speaking to the engagement level and knowledge of the team. So that was really the trigger to me that we're onto something here. And, with that, we've started tackling bigger tasks, and now we've moved on to uniform standards and getting ready to roll into our takeout processes. The impact that DoorDash and takeout has on our business is so huge. This is a major opportunity for us where if we can eliminate, get to that, 1 in 3,500 orders that PALS has, for their errors, we get to that kind of level, that can have a huge impact on our business as well. So that's where our next focus is. But seeing the full range of outcomes and being able to adjust, you learn a lot as a leader as well. Not every situation and not every process will be managed the same. And so everyone's kind of learning how they can attack this in their own restaurants. And it's really helped everyone evolve on a personal level as well.
Oh, that's great. And Jeff, were there a lot of hurdles as you were implementing these processes to 100%?
Oh, very much so, yes.
Well, can you share with our listeners, how did you overcome these hurdles? I mean, because the essence is, what did you learn to make it work actually for your business?
Follow through and buy-in are not unique challenges to Mac's Speed Shop, but they were very evident. Change is hard for people sometimes. And, we really have to understand that we're dealing with human beings here. It's not easy to make a change. And for most people, they really need to know not just how, but they need to know the why to really be bought in. And I think that that's a part that gets missed at times, in particular when you're developing new people along the way or you're implementing new processes with old team members. Because at some point you just kind of get into this mode of they're doing what they're asked to do. But I've always seen myself as a very positive leader. I used to get called the nice manager like it was a bad thing, and I wear that as a badge of honor today, and has very much changed my perspective. But I really do believe that I get sustainable results by treating people with love, dignity, and respect. And that's what I love about achieving world-class results is if you really listen to the verbiage and how it's presented, this is a very positively cultural forward influence on your operation. I think that's why it resonates so much with me. But how we present and support this process really matters. So I think it was very important for us that we started to explain those whys to everybody. If somebody isn't bought into it, they're either not the right fit for the organization, or I didn't do my job and ignite that in them by providing them with the information that they needed. So I can't make that decision on an individual unless I provided them with everything that they need, all the tools they need to be successful. So really how we overcame it was following through on that understanding and keeping momentum. Everyone, I'm sure at the beginning of this thought they're going to get through the fries and then this is going to fizzle off and we're going to get right back to normal. We don't have to worry about all this achieving world, whatever, but keeping the momentum going, like this is who we are now. This is who we're going to be. And that refusal to give up on that change and follow through has started to really resonate with the rest of the team. We're starting to hear it in how they communicate as well at the store level. And so I'll be very happy when I come in and all the servers and line cooks, they're the ones that are using that same verbiage as well. That's when I'll be really excited.
Wow. So follow through, momentum, and be sure to explain the why. Those sound like great ways to take things forward.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, Jeff, I'm assuming that this was just an easy thing to roll out. Like there was no challenges at all. It was just, oh yeah, of course, this is what we're doing. I mean, it was just very, very simple. But so I say that in jest, but so what's that big challenge? What is the biggest operations challenge you had during this journey right now?
I really think like most restaurants, staffing can be challenging. The need to have a team where everyone's in the right place at the right time and you're fully staffed so that you can attack these things is really important. And I got to say, Billy gets on a call once a month with our GMs and KMs, and they all spoke to how much they really appreciated this one conversation that we had that was all around interviewing, really understanding what like that 15-minute conversation is actually going to yield, what you're going to get out of that, and knowing how to attack that. So rather than us trying to make this full assessment of an individual and their character and their being in 15 minutes, our job is to understand, can they execute the job we're asking them to do? And will they do it consistently and show up? And from there, we're able to outlay our standards. So I think the biggest challenge for our operations is in one, staffing, but the second part of that is the consistency in which we hold the line. Right. So it led to a lot of great discussions about not only who we hire and who we bring into the organization, but what we're doing for them once we have them here as well. You make that decision to hire somebody, you did that to them. So now you have a responsibility to give them everything you got. And so it was a really great discussion that the team got a lot out of, and it's really started to help us better understand that particular challenge in our operations.
Wow, that is so great. You hired them, and the hiring company, have the responsibility to give them what I got. I mean, that is such a great perspective. Wow.
I appreciate it.
I want to pause here and let everyone know that everything you're hearing now is taught in our Achieving World-Class Results class. We would love to have you and your team in the class so we can help you reduce errors and increase repeat business. The class will enable you to take your operations from ordinary to extraordinary. Sign up now at McClaskeyExcellence.com/AWCR. Let's reverse the fields here a little bit. What one question would you like to ask Billy or I?
Oh gosh. I've been very lucky to have great relationship with Billy for a long time and get a lot of feedback from him. And I'm also very focused on leadership development and culture on a personal level. So really what I would love to know is, in the work that you guys have been doing, what's the biggest stumbling block that y'all have seen with companies when they're working towards the solutions, or what's some of the stumbling blocks that you've seen in trying to improve an organization's culture?
Sure. So Jeff, the biggest thing that I've seen right now, and I always attribute it to a rowboat. I don't know if you've ever been in a rowboat before, but you got 5 or 6 people that are rowing in one direction, and then you have one person rowing in the opposite direction. The only thing your boat's going to do is spin in circles. And I use that weird metaphor for the idea is too often we work with companies and if there's 4 people that are like in charge, 3 of them are like gung ho, we're going to do this. We are with excellence. And then the 4th is, this is impossible. You can't do this. This is excellence. This is ridiculous. Let's just make money and we'll just keep doing what we're doing. And where the stumbling block happens is the other 3 just go, that's just Bob. He always thinks like that. But what they don't realize is that 4th person is just causing them to spin in circles. And unless every single person is on board with excellence, you're not getting there. You're going to take some off ramp to some weird road outside of excellence, but you're never going to get to the city of excellence. And I know I mixed a whole lot of metaphors there with driving and boats, but the idea is that unless everybody's on board, you're wasting your time.
Well, the mix of metaphors is on brand for you, so I appreciate it.
So you know Billy well, don't you? Yes, it's oh goodness, but so appropriate.
I'd like to know is we're always looking at authors and speakers, just people who influence you. And please do not say it's us. I mean, we would love that. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to learn about other people and who influences you in that world of authors and speakers and leaders, just so we can, maybe they'll be the next guest on our podcast.
Well, yeah, I definitely got some great ones. I've been doing some speaking and, like I said, working on the book and doing some coaching myself, or just getting into that world a little bit on the side. And so it's been a big part of my journey to learn and dive more into that. And so I've learned a lot from observing and just listening to other people. And there are 2 podcasts that I really love right now. One is called Heard, and their focus is on mental health and hospitality. And I think their tagline is putting the rest back in restaurants. And I've gotten some incredible information from them because they interview anybody from chefs who've gone through personal mental health struggles to therapists to like workplace consultants and people who really care about this industry. And I think it's important that people know that, I saw something recently that really stuck with me after Amberelle passed, that the people that are feeding us are dying, and the need to create environments where people in the restaurant industry feel safe and protected and cared for is really critical. And these guys are really nailing that mission. Another great one is Full Comp. The guy's name is Josh Copel, and he does a fantastic job bringing on restaurateurs, thought leaders, innovators, and just has some really great interviews with people that I really enjoy. Obviously, I do suggest that everyone reaches out to you guys for sure. But honestly, the people that I've had the privilege of working with are the ones that really inspire me, and I've had the privilege of working with a lot of great people. Betsy Appleyard is one of my favorite people of all time. She was my area director at Chili's, and she now has her own staffing agency. People like Ben Kolnos, David Kudnick, who is my vice president at Juniper Grill, Chris Perrin, my executive chef there. I'm also really lucky to work with some powerful speakers and people, thought leaders in the industry as well. So I have a partner in this deal where I'm the director of operations. My focus is on hospitality. The director of operations culinary is Charles Long, and he's been a tremendous resource to me over the last year. He's been with the organization for about 6 years, and he does an incredible job of inspiring the team and keeping everyone focused on the right things. And he's one of the hardest damn working people I've ever met in my life. So, I wanted to give different, rather than the Will Guidaras and all the Danny Myers and the people that we all truly love and respect and think are incredible. giving some light to some people who have directly impacted my life was important to me here. So I am who I am because of those people in my life.
Oh, great.
That's wonderful. These are great people. We will definitely have to look into talking to them and seeing if we can get them here on the show.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you for those references. Thank you.
Well, I got lots of them.
So, Jeff, what else would you like to know from us? Any questions for us that we can help?
Yeah, so this organization is pretty early in the process.
Mhm.
So what are some of the things that you guys teach to help keep that momentum going? Because what I've noticed in some of the organizations that I've worked with is, we used to go to the class, we'd have the 30 or 60-day follow-up, and then the next time we'd really get pumped up about it is when we would go to the class the following year, So keeping that momentum 12 months a year is challenging. So how do you guys suggest that organizations really drive that momentum?
Sure. Jeff, there's two ways that I think about it. The first is very positive. The second is kind of more of a gut check thing. The first is culture is found in language. I mean, you look at any anthropological study, it's all about the language is where they really determine what the culture was about. If you want this to keep going, you've got to keep the verbiage going of what is the mission? What is the key customer requirements? Are you talking about it every single day? Are you making it the most important thing in the world to where that's just what it is all about? And the more that you use that verbiage, and even listen to things around you. Do you have people in your organization talking on levels of mediocrity, using words of, it's okay, it's fine, get them next time? Those are the things you have to correct to be on a daily basis. So that is one really challenge of keep the language the same. Don't fall back into the same language you used before, and you'll be able to move forward pretty quickly. Now, the second, this is the non-fun one, is, well, Jeff, it's your fault. And I say that, but that as the leader is, no one is ever going to have a higher standard than you. And if you draw your standard, then that's where the standard is. But your team is never going to push your standard higher. That's it. I haven't seen it yet. David, maybe you have in your 50 years, but I haven't seen it yet. And as long as you keep your standard at that standard of excellence, then you're never going to have that dip. Now, you might have a little bit of wave. I get that because, it's human nature to have energy shifts. But if you keep your standard and you keep your verbiage at the highest, then it doesn't matter at all. And then this class is only going to be meant as an accelerator to go from excellent to, oh my. I think that's the level above excellent. I could be wrong, but
I think that's accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, great, excellent, oh my.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that's really what it comes down to. Those are the two things that I truly believe will keep it going. David, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this constancy of purpose is one of the big keys. You really just can't make a change, particularly in a culture, if, wow, we're really focusing on this for these 6 months. Oh, and now we're over here for these 6 months. You just don't make the change. But it's always, we're getting all our orders right every time. That is our philosophy. I love the way Pals Barger said, we are going to get Pals. We are going to get every order right, period. That he never changed. And as such, everything in the culture lined up around it. And so this constancy of purpose, and Billy was just talking about two great ways to do that. Keep talking the language of your mission and your key customer requirements. Helps say we're still on the same journey, as opposed we're going to another place at this point.
That's such a great point. And I feel like we've done two things to really try to drive that expectation with the verbiage. And the first is the culture card that we talked about earlier.
Fantastic. I mean, Rich Carlton did that, and that is a wonderful way to do that.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. Another thing that we put in place, and we've piloted recently, Charles and I, and we're continuing to build it out so that it has a direct impact on the operators next year, is an audit system. And I know that this is something that you guys have dealt with before as well. And so the goal here is to tie everything back to what those cultural expectations are and what the processes look like. So we have a hospitality audit and we have a culinary audit. And for us, the long run, what we want to have is a third one that we would call a 100% report. And it's just the things that we've gone through as a standard. And we've all agreed that we should be 100% on, like fry
Right.
portioning, or
Right.
caddy spiels, or uniform standards. And that's the third portion of the audit system. And so those have been helpful so far in keeping everyone focused on the fact that operating at 100%, living in a world of excellence, not settling. Now it's becoming, we're taking action to back up those words. And I think I see those audits continuing to have a big impact moving forward as we continue to improve our processes as well.
Man, those are so many fantastic. I mean, that is such great advice. I mean, it's like writing down what you just said and doing it. A great recipe for going forward.
Yeah, for sure.
Wonderful. Well, Jeff, thank you for joining us and being a guest on the podcast. We truly appreciate having wonderful leaders, and I know you are at the top of your game. And we want to thank everybody else for tuning in, and just remind everybody that we have new episodes that are going to drop on the 1st and 3rd Monday of every month, and we look forward to seeing you all next time.
We'll look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Operations Experts was created by McClaskey Excellence Institute, hosted with David McClaskey, President of McClaskey Excellence Institute, and Billy Schaefer, Vice President of McClaskey Excellence Institute. The podcast was produced and edited by Kate Craig of Kate Craig Consulting. New episodes drop the 1st and 3rd Monday of every month on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music. Find us online at McClaskeyExcellence.com and register for our Achieving World-Class Results course to enable your organization to deliver exactly what you promised every time using extraordinary operations.